tweet out Chad Mendes' number?
Why did I tweet out Chad Mendes' number? Okay, first off, that was in like 2014. You knew that.
Yeah.
Is this something you wanted to ask me? You're just asking me now? Oh, all right. Well, let's just do it right here. Let's record it for the audience. Yeah, around 2014. It was right before Mendes fought Conor. And that was a dick move by me. I really screwed up his life for about 24 hours there. So he had done something really small. He did not he did not deserve this. He had done something that hurt my feelings. It was like, I think I was texting him about something. He wouldn't text me back. It was something as simple as that. But whatever it was, I was so annoyed that he would. I've known Chad for years. I would say he's not going to text me back. And so I gave him a countdown on the text. I said, you got 5 seconds to text me back or I'm going to tweet out your number, you little prick. I never heard back from him. So then I remember the text. I remember sending him a 5, not hearing back. I sent him a 4. I didn't hear back. I sent him a 3. I didn't hear back. I sent him a 2. I sent him a 1. I mean, I gave him a full countdown. I had honor. And I tweeted out his number.
Like 10 times, right?
Yeah, I think I said, like, hey, Chad Mendes won't call me back. You know, could you guys let him know I'm trying to get a hold of him? And then here's his phone number. And, yeah, that was a scumbag move by me. And but he was a sport. You would think that. Now, I will tell you this. It did not hurt our friendship one bit. Not one bit. However, it is now basically 2019, so basically this is 5 years ago. I do not have his phone number. When he got a new phone, he would not give it to me. We even have the same managers. And so I've even gone to Mike before. I'm like, hey, let me get a hold of Chad. He's like, I'm happy to pass a message. You know, what do you need? It's like, oh, come on. That's not going to happen again. One-time deal. I screwed that. I'm sorry. What's his number? No. Just send me the message. I'll get it to him. But that's what he did. I would love to tell you there's no hero in this story. And if there is, it's certainly not me, okay? I would love to tell you that Chad deserved that. He did not. He was busy. He had other stuff to do. I mean, I imagine he was. I can't remember what I was going to ask. I had something, though. You know, who knows? Maybe it was to come on the podcast. Maybe. I mean, I don't know what I would have needed back then, but whatever it was, I felt as though I was being victimized by Chad Mendes' schedule. He was getting ready to fight Conor McGregor. It's for the championship. It's a main event. He had other stuff to do. I did not see it that way. I saw it as though Chael was being victimized to Chad's newfound stardom in the moment, or whatever it was. But I'm sure it's something along these lines, right? Yeah, so I asked for some help on social media. Hey, could you guys, I can't seem to get a hold of Chad. If you guys can, could you just let him know, call me? That was it. What's the big deal?
Yeah, what's the big deal?
And, it was funny, too, because he had the cameras following around. He was on the Embedded series for UFC. So, they're kind of with you 24/7. They go back and edit that whole thing. So that made the show. He had to go into, like, T-Mobile or, Amped Mobile, wherever, Verizon. Hopefully he's not with those crooks at Verizon, but whatever store it was. I told you about my problem with Verizon, right?
No.
I didn't tell you about the problem with Verizon with that scam they're running with their insurance?
No, I don't think so.
I go into Verizon, and I get a new phone. This was a meaningful amount of time ago. And when I do it, they ask me, do you want the insurance? Great, I'll take the insurance. We replace your phone. Anything lost or stolen or damaged or any excuse in the sun. You come in here, you need a new phone when we get a new phone. Okay, great, I'll take that. X amount of dollars a month. I think it's $12 a month or so. They just add it to your bill. So that time came. My phone broke. Year later, whatever it was, my phone broke. And I've had the insurance. I've been with them, for about 10 years. But on this specific phone that I bought, and then by the time I broke, it was roughly a year. So I went in to get it fixed, and Verizon's like, yeah, that's no problem at all. We don't do that, but here's the number that you call. Go home and call the number. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Something right out of the gate, this stinks. So I said, I'm gonna do it from right here. So I went and sat down in their lobby and called, and sure enough, the person on the other end is like, yeah, you're in a million years, we don't give anybody a new phone. That's not what they said, but she was a little bit candid with me where she said things like, exact quotes, this is not made for speed. It's going to take a number of days. You send your phone in. We then assess your phone, determine if it meets our qualifications. But they told me straight up, it's lost, stolen, or damaged. So I don't really know what there is to look at, but they also are fully aware of the fact that many people cannot go 3 to 4 to 5 days without a phone. And that was the situation they were going to put me in, to then honor their end of the contract, which was completely misrepresented. And also, and really what pissed me off, I mean, I understand that those insurance claims don't all go your way, and for good reason, or you'd have fraud and ever be out of business. But what upset me, and where I felt it was very underhanded by them, is when they signed me up. The same person that sold me the phone in the commercial front property at Verizon sold me the insurance. I then and only then, when it's time to make a claim, find out that that's a third party. And now I have to take my business up with the third party. I will also add to this story that every single month when I get my bill, that $12 for the insurance monthly, I pay that right to the Verizon. I don't have a third company that comes in, much like car insurance, which is what they told me. I said, hey guys, I had no way to know that this was a third party. I walked into your store, you sold me both the phone and the insurance. You then collect the money for both the phone and the insurance, but only when it's time for you to now follow through on your obligation do I find out there's a third party that I have to call. Not somebody I can go see, not somebody I can go look at face to face, somebody that I have to call. Which is relevant because, I mean, how easy is it to blow a guy off when he's over the phone? It's a little harder face-to-face. So it's very relevant to my argument. And they're going, no, it's a third party. It's the same way as you buy a car. You buy a car here, you buy insurance there. I said, well, I reject your premise. I completely reject your premise because I go buy the insurance. You don't sell it to me. I don't send you, along with the car payment every month, the insurance payment. I do that at two separate places. I could walk into that storefront, see the guy face-to-face, look at different policies. I don't do it that way, I do it over the phone, but I could. I could do these things. I am well aware that I am dealing with two different entities here. The way you guys have set up this phone system, so look around your store. It's called like Assurian is the insurance company. Go show me anywhere in your store a sign that simply says Assurian. There is no reasonable way that any customer would know Assurian does business here. You don't put it anywhere. I actually made a YouTube video on this one time, and it did great. All of a sudden, Verizon's calling me and begging me, hey, we kind of like to pick on the little guy. This wasn't supposed to happen to you. So it's not the way I roll. I am the little guy. I am a man of the people. If you're out there screwing people over, I'm going to let people know that you got a hustle going on, which should be shut down by the Attorney General. They have literally found a way in business to separate themselves from responsibility. They have a way to do business, to collect money, and then separate themselves legally. I had some scumbag from Verizon weigh in on this in the comment section telling me, I work for Verizon. It's your fault for not reading the contract. Could you imagine having that mentality? You come in there, you're hustling, you're doing business with a reputable company who you believe you can trust. I'm going to part with my money to use your service. I'm also going to sign a long-term contract. It's a very valuable thing. You're holding all the cards. I'm holding none. And some scumbag that works for you is going to say, you should have read the contract. Really, I should have read the contract. Would you like for everyone to start doing that? Because there are multiple pages in very fine print. You have a line out the door as it is. You are a mismanaged, underserviced commercial front as it is. Right. Do you truly believe, Mr. Verizon guy, do you truly believe your own management and your own corporate office would like to invoke a policy where every single customer stands there and reads all those, or would you like to stick with the policy that we all do follow, which is to come in, trust you, sign here, and walk out the door with your new gadget?
So do they know that right away, like off the bat, that they're selling third-party insurance?
Yeah, so the employees, which I was trying to tell you, I wasn't really being a dick about the whole thing. I had every right to be. I really wasn't being face-to-face with them in person. I said this is my stance on this. And when you offer me the example of buying a car and that insurance is separate, I disagree with you on those examples. I don't think it's apples to apples there, because I make that decision. I pick up the phone, and ultimately every month I write two separate checks. You guys made the representation. You guys sold me the phone along with the policy, which would lead me to connect the dot that the policy's through you, and then you collect the money every month. And it's not like you're just out doing that for Assurian. You're obviously getting a cut of those policies that you're not only selling with your salesman, but that you then sell with corporate and the shareholders, and then pass something over to Assurian, who then has realized it's a better way to do business by just resisting. Resist. See who's going to lawyer up, which is going to be nobody. You can go get a lawyer Pay $5,000 to try to recuperate a $900 fine? No, of course not. So what is their incentive to follow through? And then you tell Insurance, hey, this is what was told to me. This is what was told to me by the person who sold me this policy, who I also happen to be standing with right now, who will back me, that this is the representation they made. And Insurance go, well, they shouldn't have made that representation.
Wow.
They misunderstood. It's like, oh, I see what's happening here. So now I try to smarten the Verizon guy. I think he wants to know. After I waste my oxygen on him, I realize he couldn't possibly care less. He just wants me out of the store. But I try to smart him to the fact of, hey, I know how this is working. Your managers are bringing you into meetings and telling you sell this to customers. They're telling you it's a great policy. They're telling you your customer is better with the policy. And if anything goes wrong with the phone, these guys will make it right and the customer will be glad that they had it. So the salesman is coming out and he's just trying to represent what he was told by people he believes. He doesn't know the truth, which is this is a hustle from Jump Street to take your money. And if anybody has a problem with it, take it up with Asurion. Oh, and by the way, they're a phone number located in some building somewhere that would inquire further levels of research to even find. These guys could be in Chicago for all I know. They could be in Maryland for all. I don't even know where they are. They could be in India. I don't have the foggiest idea where they are. It's an 800 number. So then you're looking at the pieces and going, first off, that should not be legal. If you made a representation to me and you're not going to recognize it, that's illegal. That's fraud. And secondly, you're going to collect the money every month. Every single month, I make one check. You guys figure out who gets what and what the money got. It's got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. And now you will admit at the time of my claim that you did make the representations, as I am recalling them. You did say that to me. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the guys on the phone are saying you didn't have the right. Well, no, that's what our manager said. I understand that. But does somebody here realize you're taking people's money, you're making deals, and then you're not honoring it? And whether Verizon wants to go, hey, and this was Verizon's stance, Asurion is being dishonest here. You go to Asurion and they go, no, this was all supposed to be explained to you ahead of time. Okay, great, but Nick, do you see the problem? So they both want to look around like they've somehow got the high ceiling moral high ground on this. It's like, no. You guys are partners. You guys have a partnership that relies on the customer. So you don't get to say, Assure, oh, well, these guys shouldn't have said that. And then Verizon doesn't get to look at Assure and go, well, this is what we were told to say. And then some prick at Verizon gets to go, well, you should have read your contract. No, excuse me. I have everybody in the room right now. Myself, the representative from Verizon, and the person from Assure on the phone. Myself and the Verizon guy are agreeing that this is what we were said. And Asurion is saying no. So it sounds like Asurion and Verizon need to work that script out to quit continuing to commit fraud. But either way, I got to leave here with a phone today. So here's another $900. And they had the audacity to ask me. You want to know what she said to me? She said, would you like to continue your insurance plan? No! No, even if it's only $12 a month. No, I'm not paying an insurance plan when we all just found out together that you don't represent it and honor it anyway. Completely dishonest. Completely. I mean, we had an Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, who's no longer in there, but Jeff Sessions is asleep at the wheel. And I can point you to other companies that also did, but this is a publicly traded company. This is a major company. There is no possible way that is legal. Could not be legal. Otherwise, every other company in the world would just start doing it. I come out to you. Give me a product. Make something up. Hot tubs. Let's just say hot tubs. I don't know. Hot tubs jumped in my head. Let's say I come to you, though, and I sell you a hot tub. Hey, Nick, do you want a hot tub? Chael, I didn't even know you had a hot tub. Sure, I'll take a hot tub. Okay, great. Give me $5,000. Great, Chael, here's your $5,000. I then go make a deal with the hot tub supplier, find a profit in there for myself. Hot tub supplier brings you a hot tub. You have no idea. You think it's me. You call me up and go, hey, Chael, this hot tub's broken. I go, well, take it up with the supplier. Nick, I'm just a third party. And you go, what are you talking about, Chael? You're the one that called me. You're the one that took my money. You're the one that shook my hand. Now you're finding a way to defer responsibility to a third party that you brought in that I had no idea existed? I mean, just keep extending that game in everything in life. Every business in the world would do that if they realize they could legally defer when the time comes to pay.
Are they still doing that right now?
Yes, they do it right now. Hell yes, they do it right now. They do it right now. That's why I made the video. I just wanted people to know. Hey, you guys do what you want with this information, but let me be the one to tell you because Verizon sure as hell isn't. They work with crooks.
So they contacted you after you made that video?
Yes, they both contacted me. Verizon contacted me and Asurion contacted me. Now, Asurion wasn't as into it. They contacted me on social media. Verizon picked up the phone several times. How do we make this right with you? Yeah, it's like, guys, I'm not looking to be a crusader here, but a quick FYI, you're dealing with scumbags. Or you're the scumbag. It's one of you two. But there is no question. This isn't Chael name-calling. I got all three people in the room. Myself, your representative, and their representative. And nobody could tell the same story. Asurion blamed you guys blamed Asurion. Then I had a representative from you guys tell me you should have read the contract, it's all your fault. It's like, guys, that is shady. That's very shady. I do not get to make representations to you that hand you a contract, get you to sign something and go, ha ha ha, you're a fool. You should have read it. You should have, not only should have you read, you should have read it, you should have understood. You can't come back now. Ha ha ha. I mean, that was a very underhanded thing. That I think the law would ultimately side with that. Ultimately, the law would side with the contract. But that's right. But it's a loophole, and there's many things in life where if you were to go through, I mean, use the criminal justice system by example. The entire justice system is based around one thing, which is deal making. Now, it has to. It has to be around deal making because there's too many cases and not enough courts. So you would literally not be able to get in front of a judge and you have the right to a speedy trial. Constitutionally, you would not be able to do that unless there was deal making. Okay, here, I'll take the deal. Let's just be done with it. Great, gavel comes down, move on, bring in the next case. But there are many, I offer you that example because I know it's one that you could relate to. But the point is there are many things in life that have to work that way where you don't get to have some sneaky guy in the room that goes, we've got that on page 6 in subsection 4. And it says right here that they're a third party and all claims will be settled. Shut up. Shut up whether you're right or wrong. Whether you're right or you're not right, you are underhanded. You are bringing in something that is ethically underhanded. From a legal perspective, the Attorney General should not allow any company to make a representation, collect money, and then defer to a third party that nobody knew existed. That is criminal, and that's what they did.